Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So some big news right off the bat. On April 14th of 2025, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders signed that English proficiency bill required for CDL holders into law. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because we know that when one state does something big, it can sometimes spread to other states. So this isn't really just an Arkansas thing. It could spark a national shakeup. And that's not all. Today we're also diving into illegal CDLs, where people who should not be driving semi-trucks are kind of slipping through the cracks. So how is this going to hit the trucking industry? Let's unpack all of it. Ready? Let's go. So the first question is, why are so many people in the trucking industry buzzing or are excited about the fact that Arkansas signed this bill into law, forcing English proficiency to be a priority for CDL holders? Well, it's kind of simple. A lot of folks believe that there are some shady things going on in the trucking industry. It's not just about the low barriers to entry into this industry or the overcapacity issue. It's about the fact that many believe that there are some illegal things going on that are causing the overcapacity issue. And you know what? They are not wrong. From fake CDLs to lax enforcement, the evidence is piling up. Let's start with the wildest part. People getting CDLs that they did not earn. Truckers have been saying it for years. There are people who are driving with fake CDLs. And guess what? They are right. So let's break down two real cases that prove that straight from the headlines. On April 2nd, Overdrive reported that Calvin Butner, who is a former Massachusetts State Police trooper, pleaded guilty to a conspiracy to falsify CDL records. From May 2019 until January 2023, Butner, along with 3 other troopers, gave passing scores to at least 17 applicants, some who failed the test and others that didn't even take the CDL test. Now, they called these applicants golden, and Butner even texted, and I'm going to quote this, he texted about one saying, "This guy's a mess. He owes you a prime rib." He was texting one of his colleagues who was about to pass a guy who was not supposed to pass that CDL test. So that's not a joke. That is corruption. But that's not where it ends. Then on April 15th of 2025, so just a couple of days ago, another trooper, Perry Menddees, also pleaded guilty. Menddees was a part of a 6-person scheme hit with a 74-count indictment. He admitted to, and I'm going to quote this, cutting skill tests short for those golden applicants, entering false information on the CDL score sheets to make it seem that applicants passed the skills test when they actually didn't, and reporting false passing scores for applicants that never even took the test at all. And this is just what's being reported, right, in the media. How many cases are not being reported? And how many haven't been caught yet? Now, from here, let's move on to the English proficiency issue that has got everybody fired up. Some people are extremely excited about it. Other people are extremely against it. What happened in Arkansas with the bill turning into law with English proficiency is just the beginning, because on April 10th, this just got pushed to the federal level, potentially. Now, let me give you some context so that this makes sense. In 2016, and I'm going to quote this, the DOT relaxed enforcement of the requirement that CMV drivers, CDL holders, must speak and read English sufficiently to converse with the public, understand traffic signs, and respond to inquiries. It also stipulated that if a driver cannot read, write, or speak English but can still communicate adequately with inspectors, they should not be cited for an ELP violation, English language proficiency. Now, before that, in 2015, the Commercial Motor Vehicle Safety Alliance, the CSVA, you know, those CSA scores that we are all concerned about as carriers. Well, in 2015, they voted to drop the English proficiency regulations from the out-of-service criteria, meaning if you don't speak or understand English, no problem. You're not going to get an out-of-service order for that. Well, now, or more specifically on Thursday, April 10th, Harriet Hageman of Wyoming sent a letter to Secretary Sean Duffy to cancel that 2016 guidance issued by the DOT. This means that if this is canceled and the English proficiency becomes a federally enforced law, and the key word here, of course, is enforced, then we will most likely see it back on the out-of-service criteria. And out-of-service orders, well, those affect everything. From the ability to book loads, which is your income because brokers do check your CSA scores, to the cost of your insurance because insurance also checks it, and that could drive your costs higher, and that is a very big chunk of fixed expenses, to more audits, and audits are time, and time equals money, to your company being placed out of service. It's not like a truck being placed out of service. If your company is placed out of service due to too many out-of-service orders or violations, that means you cannot operate until the FMCSA issues a corrective plan. So how would a seemingly simple thing, the enforcement of English proficiency on a federal level and adding it back to the out-of-service criteria, affect trucking as a whole? Well, let me give you one example. Carriers might have to invest in language training or hire only English-speaking CDL holders. And this could raise operational costs for some carriers, and other carriers could see their fleets sitting empty for longer while the extra vetting before hiring a driver or training is taking place. Ultimately, this is going to reduce capacity to some degree if it becomes a federal law. So what do you guys think? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you perhaps appalled? And what about those CDLs? Did some of you already know this was happening for a fact, or was it a theory you had that turned out to be a fact? Super curious to hear your thoughts. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining and watching today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Sunday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning. See you in the next video.